QuickBooks Pro Plus Desktop 2022 OneNote presentation. Purchase order form PO. Let's get into it with Intuit's QuickBooks Pro Desktop 2022. Here we are in OneNote. If you have access to OneNote, would like to follow along, you're not required to, but if would like to, we're in the icon on the left-hand side, Topic Introduction tab, 1220 Purchase Order Form PO tab. Also note, when using OneNote, take a look at the Immersive Reader tool. Topic introductions, they're also in the text area, same name, same number, but with transcripts. Transcripts that can be translated into multiple different languages and either listened to or read in them. Also note, topic introductions will have the same name and number as a presentation. Topic introductions designed to give an introduction to the topic, provide screenshots and links where applicable, as well as background with accounting information in general that can support what we are doing in the QuickBooks software. Closing the icon on the left-hand side, we are looking into the purchase order. These are the screenshots. If you go to the presentations and would like to use the screenshots, if you don't want to open QuickBooks or don't have access to that, then you can do so. We're starting off on the home page, looking in and concentrating on the vendor section, looking now at the inventory process of it, which is going to be this top line, starting out with the purchase order. Here's a zoom in on the vendor section in more detail so you can see just that component, zooming into it. We're focusing in on the purchase order, that being the starting point when we're going to have the inventory process, because we're going to be purchasing inventory, the purchase order being a special form because it's really only a request for inventory. If you're using purchase orders, then it's a point where you're not actually making the inventory or receiving the inventory and you're not paying for it yet, but we want to track the request. Therefore, unusual form in that we don't have any financial transaction behind it, although we still want to track it so that we can later get the inventory, record the bill. So down below, we got a screenshot of how you could turn on, in essence, the preferences for the inventory, because you will not have this top line item top lined up in the vendor section unless you have inventory turned on. That's in the items area, company preferences area. Then the purchase order looks like this. This is an example of the purchase order. You've got the vendor name, you got the ship to information, date, purchase order, the vendor information populated from the vendor as you enter the vendor. You've got the item. The items are something that you have to set up in order to get the purchase orders to populate properly, and that's going to be one of the major things you got to get down, is to get those items down. We'll talk more about items in a future presentation. You also have some information related to the vendor on the right-hand side. Note that we don't have any just general accounting information in terms of debits and credits that can support this actual purchase order, because remember, this purchase order is just simply a request in terms of an impact on the financial statements, in terms of the balance sheet and the income statement. There is no impact on it because inventory has not yet been received and we didn't make any payment, but we will be tracking the purchase order. When we receive the inventory, we will most likely get it with a bill. Then we'll enter the bill at that point in time.